All right, so we're going to do bobble stitch today. To start bobble stitch, you chain a odd number of chains. I started with 15, and then in the second chain from the hook, you're going to start single crochets all the way across. Now, single crochet is where you insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then you yarn over and you pull through both. And you're going to do that all the way across. Again, and like we talked about in class, these back loop bridges will give you a nice even base for your crochet if you're working on garments or blankets. But to start out, if it is difficult to find that loop, you can work into any part of the stitch, really. Like I keep saying, crochet is really good at hiding your sins, and there is really no need to make anything more difficult than you need it to be while you're starting. So you can see here, when you turn it, I have this nice flat bottom. But you could be working into these stitches too along the sides. Anywhere here is really okay to work into to start, as long as you are always working into the same part. You're still going to get a nice straight edge on your bottom. It's just not going to have that nice flat spot like I have. And again, if you're connecting squares, if you're really doing anything that's going to get connected together, it's not such a huge deal. And it's only as big a deal as you want it to be, if we're being honest. I, for years, just worked into any loop I could while I figured out my tension. All right, so I've got a nice row here. I've turned it. This is my single crochet. So now that you've done that, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to make your turning chain. This is the amount of chains you like to do when you're going to be working with double crochet. I like to do 2. I know I have been suggesting everybody do 3 to start. If you're more comfortable with the 3, do that. That is the standard. So now for your bobble stitch, what you're going to do is you are going to double crochet 5 together in one stitch. This is very similar to the decreases that I showed you, except you're going to be doing it all in one stitch. So that is, you're going to yarn over, you're going to insert your hook into the space there, you're going to pull it through. And then you're going to yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. So this is going to be very similar to the incomplete double crochets that we did for the cluster puff stitch, but we're going to be doing 5. So there, again. Oops, sorry. This is my 5th one. Okay. All right. So then you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 6 loops. And then you are going to chain 1, and then you are going to single crochet into the next stitch. Now, pull it tight, and you've got your bobble. Let's see if I can get there we go. So then you're gonna do that into the next stitch. Again, 5 incompletes, or 5 double crochet 5 incompletes, or also known as 1 double crochet 5 together. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So an alternate way to do this is you can also skip the chain. So we're going to pull through all 6 and go immediately to the single crochet. Again, this all comes down to preference. So I wanted to show you the 2 ways that I have instructions to do it. This is my preferred one. You can see the difference between the 2 is this is a tighter little ball, and this is more of a rounded cluster. This is kind of a cluster with a little more puff. This is more of a ball. So then you're just going to do that all the way across. So it is, again, yarn over through your stitch, pull through 2, yarn over through your stitch, pull through 2, do that 3 more times. And I'm really sorry that I'm struggling to get my camera to focus today. Okay, so you got 6, and you pull through all of them, pull it tight, and then again, like I said, immediately you're going to go and do that single crochet. And if you're saying, oh, mine kind of look kind of funny, on the back side, just take your finger and just push on it, and it just straightens it out and makes it the little ball. I kind of have it, I've been doing these so much because I make those strawberry sweaters that it's just a habit now that I do it as I'm pulling my single crochet through. So we're going to go into the next one. I'm just going to complete this row, and then I'm going to show you a second row. I'm sorry that I'm very struggling for focus today. There we go. And one more. So I'll do it without automatically pushing it through as I'm pulling my thing and just show you. So I finished mine. I still always have to give it a little puff to get my stitches in the right place. There. Ah. I don't need to be so jiggly today. There we go. Come on, focus. 6, and then in here. All right, there we go. And one more. There. So there's that. There's one row. So then you're going to go turn, and you're going to chain one all the way across. Some patterns will say to, single crochet all the way across. Some patterns will say to single crochet and then chain one, skip next stitch. I prefer to just single crochet all the way across. I think it gives you a cleaner bobble row. And I just don't like gaps in the stitch, which I find I get if I do the chain method. And everything is, again, what's easier for you. You may find that you like having that chain because you're still working on your tension and you find it a little tight. Or you may find that your tension is a little loose, so that chain gives you a gap and you like to do it this way. Like I said, there is no wrong answer there. It is all, again, up to your preference. Chains are usually added to make a stitch easier. And you'll see when I go over crocodile stitch, I do like to add a chain, which is not in the pattern I gave you. All right. Let me get my end there. There we go. So you have that. So then you are going to go 1, 2, and you go. And again, you're just going to go back and you're going to start doing those 5 incompletes. And you can see now, really see the difference between what I did with the chain and without. Oh, sorry. Just pull that, you always want to pull that stitch good and tight once you get that single crochet, and you'll really have a really prominent bubble. And what you're going to find is as you start, your bubbles are going to be staggered. And that's what you want because it gives them lots of space to work. So I'm just going to pause this and I'll come back when I have a whole row. Okay, so as you get to the end of this row, you're going to have an extra stitch. In the second stitch, you will usually end there. See, with your second little single crochet there. So you can see the bobbles aren't typically one on top of each other. They kind of go in the space between. It is still a little gappy, so you can see how like you've already got these kind of gaps here where you've pulled tight, and that's why I don't like to chain, because I find that makes that even more. And that's what you get. That's 2 rows of bobble. Like I said, here is with the chain and the rest are without the chain. So you can see this gives you a kind of wider and not quite as prominent piece of bubble. And if you're looking at stuff, you may see bobble stitch also called popcorn stitch. They are the same thing. And again, I just showed you the 2 different ways to do it because everybody kind of has their own little way, their own little preference for how they want things to look. These are the 2 ways I know how to do it, and this one without the chain is my preference. All right, so that is bobble stitch. You guys have a great day.